Joining us now is Garth Bray from Business Desk. Thanks to our partners 2 Degrees. Garth, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan.
So this is a $75 million, quite a big investment. This is for butter from Fonterra.
Yeah, right. They've put, this is part of a $1 billion plan of investments that they scheduled, that they announced at their annual results. And they kicked this off with a $75 million spend that they're going to get underway with in December down at the Clandeboine site near Temuka, South Canterbury, basically saying, hey, we want to make more butter. Surprisingly, everyone's paying loads for it. I think the dairy trade prices dipped down just a fraction. I think it's about $6,664 a tonne these days. But obviously they're seeing a bright future for unsalted butter off to China, to the food service trade, and cultured butter, as you'd expect, off to Europe, or lactic acid fermented stuff. So they're not the only ones. I mean, Westland, who make the West Gold stuff for Costco and you see it other places, they've already got a plant running. Dairy Works, Sydney, they're getting back into it. Open Country, they're commissioning plants. Everybody's making money out of butter.
Now, let's talk about AI, because everyone says go to AI, it'll improve your workspace, your productivity. You can maybe cut some staff.
Yeah.
What's this workslop thing?
Workslop is a great phrase. I just love a bit of work jargon, new work jargon. Workslop is the one that's just come out of the Harvard Business Review, which looked at some research from Better Up Labs and found evidence that increasing use of AI in the workspace is actually reducing employee productivity, creating more workslop. It's basically tools creating kind of low effort, passable looking kind of work that ends up actually making more work for the co-workers to try and work with because they've been fiddling around with AI. And this really, I guess, it's an example of how companies are thinking, oh gosh, we could roll this out, we can cut some people, or we can roll this out and get more productive without really thinking it through. We've got a wee cut I want to play you from the Commonwealth Bank.
You can play with me later, but you can play this in the meantime, Garth.
That'll fire up the chat. That'll explain. Commonwealth Bank of Australia had its annual general meeting. This is the top man, Matt Common, on the spot by one of the workers who asked him what the hell's going on. Let's play it.
Basically, incorrectly calculated that those roles wouldn't be required, whereas indeed they were required, and so had to re-engage with the employees that we'd said their role was no longer required to say, well, actually it is. And of course, that's an unnecessarily challenging process, and I understand we've apologised to each of the employees impacted by that.
So that's a bloke who has paid $9.6 million as the CEO, explaining to one of the workers that they sacked who had trained the chatbot that was supposed to replace her and couldn't do the job.
So just be wary.
Don't look at it like a broadsword you can run around chopping heads off with. It's actually about trying to make things more productive, not just reduce the headcount.
Speaking of layoffs, what's happening with Fletcher building?
Yeah, there'll be more there. We're not sure exactly how many, but they had their AGM yesterday where their CEO got his reduction voted through. I think what Andrew Reading's package is now reduced by $866,000 to $1.5 million, and the total maximum remuneration's been decreased by $2 million to $5.8 million. That's if he can get everything working at this company that has really struggled. They've targeted another $100 million worth of savings across the financial year. They're looking at trying to sell out of a stake in the consortium that's building the Puhoi to Warkworth motorway and so on. They are really trying to tighten the nuts down.
All right. Thanks, Garth. Garth Bray, Business Desk. Thanks to our partners 2 Degrees. An unfortunate turn of phrase.